Welcome to the 11th day of the 12 days of a personal brand Christmas. What is that large Yeti, you might be wondering about? This is Cornelius. This is my little 9-year-old daughter's Yeti stuffed animal that is huge and we love him. And so I to include Cornelius because on the 11th day, I want to talk to you about having performance reviews with your people. I know it's the end of the year and it's kind of like this nuts thing, right? That happened or might be happening in January. It's a really common thing for companies to do it in January. So that's why I wanted to bring it up because as a leader, you guys, here's the deal. You have a personal brand. And so when you go walking into those performance review meetings, imagine you're meeting with Cornelius, big old squishy, wonderful Cornelius. We love you, Cornelius. So imagine you're going into that kind of a meeting. What do you want to do so that you are getting the most out of the meeting, but also that Cornelius is getting the most out of the meeting as well? And so I think performance reviews are fantastic. What I don't love about them is that they happen once a year. And if you're lucky, maybe you do it twice a year, like a mid-year review and an end-of-year review. Okay. And so that's like a whole nother thing that just drives me nuts because I'm like, really? Like two really important conversations is all we get. And then you're like, are working our guts out the whole rest of the year. Oh, okay. So before I go off on that little sandbox or soapbox, let me just tell you a little bit about when you're doing performance review. I want you to think about a couple of key things. Is because in order to go do really good performance reviews, I need you to be ready. And when you think about your personal brand, when you're clear on your personal brand, it's going to help you to know how you're going to step into the meeting. Okay. So if for some reason you haven't figured out your personal brand and you don't know what it is, please get in touch with me. Come join the personal brand ambassador community where we help you to determine your personal brand and then leverage it. Okay. And so, and if you already know your personal brand, then great, come join us. We're going to help you to really take it deeper and go farther with it. All right. And so just imagine if you know your personal brand, okay? So it's going to be helpful. So be clear on that before you walk into the meeting. So first of all, I want you to be clear about that. Secondly, I want you to really think about what can you do to provide helpful and honest information. Now, some of you might be like, whoa, back it up, sister. Like, I am not going to be talking to people about all these negative things. You don't have to make it super negative, right? But be honest with people. Help them to understand where they are at because it sucks when people get blindsided, right, Cornelius? Doesn't want to get blindsided. Okay. We don't want to have that happen. All right. And then the other thing is that when you have really good um, performance reviews, it helps you to build relationships. Okay. However, I will tell you this, if you work on building a relationship multiple times throughout the year with effective one-on-one meetings, and if you missed that 12-day Christmas, go and look for that one because I talk about one-on-one meetings. All of this helps you with building really good relationships. Okay. So then when you have to have that performance review and you got to tell Cornelius that he sucks at something, he's got to work on something, that it's not like this super awkward conversation, right? Instead, it comes from this place of like, hey man, like let's talk about how this year is going, all right, and what's happening and what can be better and going into the next year, etc. Right? And there's some of these things that have been a struggle, and so instead of it having like this immense amount of dread, okay, because trust me, Cornelius knows stuff too, right? So just this is where the whole like being honest makes a huge difference. Okay. So to help you with having more effective performance reviews, I have a ready to review guide for you. So this is where you are ready to review with your people. Okay. So you're ready to step into the reviews. So get access to that. I've got some key points in there that are going to help you to be prepared as a leader before you step into those review conversations so that you and Cornelius can get a lot more out of it. Cornelius, how does that sound? Sounds good? Okay, let's give everybody a thumbs up. I had to include him, you guys. I mean, he's just too stinking cute. Can't just leave him sitting on the bed of my 9-year-old, right? We got to include him in the video. All right, my friends. Please remember that as you are clear on your personal brand is going to make a huge difference for you and how you're going to show up as a leader and what you're doing out there in the business world and at work. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of the 12 Days of Christmas. All right, my friends, go live your brand.